He don't know about our past. Whiskey, please leave me alone.
We have the legendary Tony Brown and the soon-to-be legend from Slap Out, Alabama, Dee White. I first want to know how you guys got together because, Dee, you had your first iteration here in Nashville. Obviously, you've worked with so many legends and you're, on the pulse of what's new and happening as well. But how did the two of you find each other?
I'll tell you, my story is who you know, who you don't know. I always wanted to meet John Pete because I think John Pete has a great Q prime. His roster is so diverse. Black Keys, Axel McBride, Eric Church, Marty Stewart. And I always wanted to meet him because I thought, I think we think alike, because my roster at MCA was always real diverse. So I'd call him and he never would call me back. So I realized I'm not with the record company anymore, so I don't mean shit anymore. So I put my manager, Melissa, I said, I want to meet John Pete. So she got me a meeting with John Pete. So I go meet John Pete, and he says, what can I do for you? I said, I just wanted to meet you, man. You won't call me back. He said, you called me? I said, yeah, I called you like 4 times. You never called me back. He said, well, I'm sorry about that. So we started talking. I said, I've always admired your roster, and I just wanted to meet you. And if you've never been to his office is the coolest office in all of Nashville. I said, I just like everything about you, your roster, your taste. And he said, well, I'm glad you finally got to meet me.
Thank you.
And he said, I got somebody that I have never quite found the right thing for that I think is really good. Can I play him for you? I said, sure. He said, his name is Dee White. And I had heard of Dee White. I did a girl named Emmy Sunshine, some demos on her, and she had told me about Dee White. So I said, I heard about Dee White. Let me hear him. So he played me this record that Dan Auerbach had done for Warner Brothers. It didn't do anything. He said, but let me play you some just demos of him with him just his guitar. So he played me some 3-4 songs with just Dee on the guitar, and the first thing I got was his voice was so amazing. It's like Roy Orbison. It's like not like anybody else. He's not like Morgan Wallen. He's not like Vince Gill. Just totally just refreshing. And the songs too were very regional. You can tell he's from the South, And I was instantly pulled in. I said, I love this. This is so cool. And we kept talking, and I said, would you let me do 2 or 3 sides on him? Because there's a thing inside of me, being I worked with Lyle Lovett and Patty Loveless and Steve Earle, I remember when I cut Lyle Lovett, we had a showcase, and somebody from RCA said, who's going to play that? I said, somebody will, and they did. So I wanted to challenge, and I thought, maybe he's so good, if I don't screw this up, maybe we can cut something really good. So I picked 3 songs that John had played me that I really, really loved the lyrics. I loved his voice on them. And I thought, maybe I won't screw these up. So then I thought, well, who do I get to play on them? I started being really analytical. I was immediately pulled in with his writing and his singing. And that's how I got involved. And the next thing was casting the band. And I thought, I'm not going to do this normal thing of casting the A-list players. I'm going to put together sort of a bastard band. So I hired most of Marty Stewart's superlatives, who I've never had used, but I know how great they are. I thought nobody would use them. I'm going to use them. So I used them. And he's a singer-songwriter. So I thought I need to get a flat-top guitar player that's a songwriter to be the leader of the band. This is me. This is how I'm thinking now. I'm going deeper than you want to know. But
No, this is good.
Yeah.
So I thought, John Randall. John Randall's a great singer. He's a great flat-top player. Played with Emmy Lou, and now he's producing records on Parker McCollum and Miranda Lambert. So I made him the guitar player and sort of the key flat-top player. And we went in the studio and just said, oh, first, back up. We came across the street over here to Rodney Millsap's place, and I remember Blake Chansey and Paul Worley told me how they did the Dixie Chicks in the beginning. Was they'd get the girls at his house and they just put a microphone and sit in the room and just play. That's how those first 2 records were created for the Dixie Chicks. So I took all the superlatives over there, put a microphone in the middle, and we just sat there, and I said, just play what hits you, man. And they just started playing, and I said, this is not going to be used for anything because it's not sonically good enough, so just feel free. So they started playing, and I was going, God, something's really happening here. So we took those as our demos to the studio, and then started playing those parts like they should be recorded, you know, with separating the players in different rooms and stuff. But it was, I went at it a totally analytical thing because I was so attracted from the very beginning by his voice and his songwriting. And I was challenged. I was going, I'm going to see if I'm still any good. And so nothing's happened with this record. I thought nobody's ever going to hear it. So thank you for tonight. I mean, Robert Orman's here. My God.
Let's hear it for Robert Orman.
All right.
I mean, he may crush it or he may love it. We'll find out tonight. But either way, it's just, this tonight to me, like, you know, everybody thinks songwriters are the only ones that are frustrated because nobody knows who they are. They write songs, nobody cuts. Producers are frustrated too. I've cut 3 or 4 records that never were released. This one was never signed to a label. So when you did this, I was going, thank God somebody's going to get to hear this record because I'm proud of this record. It was authentic. It happened. What happened naturally.
Yep.
There was no preconceived ideas. What went down. And Dee was happy. That's the first person that has to be happy. I said the first consumers are me and you. When we like it, then we can play it for people. But first, we have to be the ones that like it first. Because if we don't like it, then why do we think somebody else would like it, right?
I love your idea, though, about how you came together and did this demo that you talked about.
Yes.
What was that like for you? I mean, working with Tony and this incredible band he put together.
Well, you know, we were being cautious, but as soon as we got in there and got into the first song, we realized this was going to work, I think.
Yeah.
And I know Harry Stinson, he just had his snare drum, and I played acoustic. John Randall played acoustic, and Kenny Vaughn had his pull string Telecaster, and one microphone right in the middle. I know you said they're not sonically good enough, but boy, I wish we could find them. I'd love to hear those demos again.
Where are
sure
those
would.
demos? Yeah.
I wonder where they are.
Yeah, Harry just had that little snare drum in his lap, you know, so everything had just happened organically. And I had never done that before, and I really took that idea from Blake and Paul Worley for the Dixie Chicks. You know, as a producer, you always keep your ears and eyes open for ideas. You know, like I wonder like what George Martin did with the Beatles. Or I saw a documentary on Glenn Johns, which I've admired for so many years. So this time I was going, I'm gonna be analytical about this and not do my normal, just go in the studio and cut with great players. I wanted this to be something special, something authentic, something different. And I wanted it to be mainly Dee. I wanted it to be Dee because him and that guitar was so much better than what Dan had done. And what Dan had done was good. It was good, but it wasn't. It didn't feel right to me. And then I thought Dee and his guitar. It needs to be them playing to that. He needs to be the star of this record. You know.
What was it like being in the studio with Tony? Because you talked a little bit before about how he kind of got you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I say Tony got me more into my comfort zone than anything. But, you know, he assembled an all-star lineup other than maybe myself. And we got in there and it was like breathing for 9 of the songs. Other than one we sort of struggled with at the end, but we ended up getting a record on it also. And it was wonderful. Like Tony said, we just dumbed things down and really simplified the sound. And it's a guitar-driven album.
And the players really got into it too. That's another thing.
They did.
And I always say, you know, session players, they can phone it in and it's good.
It's a great feeling when you know that they automatically get it.
But
you know,
but
just play
session
'em a work
players
tape.
who really are into it, I would say treat session players like you treat a girl. You love on them, they'll love you back. But if you don't, they'll just phone it in and it's going to be pretty good. But they just were just so there. And this one song at the end, the last song we were cutting, I said, man, I give up. I have no ideas, and I feel like a total failure. And Michael Rhodes, God rest his soul, said, go back in the studio, shut up, push record. And the next take was what you hear when we play for you tonight. It's so special. And I was going, God, I'm a genius. I told somebody I was feeling like somewhere between Bob Montgomery and Rick Rubin. And only y'all would appreciate that.
That's what I love about you, Tony, though, because you've been successful at everything that you've done in your career. From
Well, not always, but have had a lot of success, and I'm a very blessed person. But I've had some records that I listen to, and I'm going, God, I'm good. I'd say it to myself. I don't tell anybody else that. But I hear records that I've done that I know that I nailed it. You know, like Run for George Strait. When I heard that record back, I nailed it. Fancy for Reba. I knew I nailed that. You know, and it's only a top 10 record, and it's probably my most famous record. Shows you #1 records don't make you are not your biggest successes. That one record, to me, defines me as a producer. I think Fancy does.
And I know that you just did the new George Strait record.
You know, I had done 19 with him, and then he fired me, and then 10 years later he asked me to join back in for this last album. So I had to co-produce with Chuck Amy, and it's weird, awkward moment in the studio, but it turned out pretty good, but not as good as the ones that the 19 I'd done before, which I would push George, you know, and I would push his comfort zone, and it's hard to tell. George would say, "Okay, we're cutting this for you, Tony. I don't want to cut this, but I'm gonna cut this for you," and he'd sing his ass off, and it'd be great. He'd go, "It's pretty good, man, ain't it?" Yeah.
Wow.
We're team.
Team.
And I don't know. I take my records. I take cutting records serious. I mean, they define. I'm not an artist. I was a musician, not a great one, but so producing to me is an extension of my creativity that represents me. It's got to be good. It's got to be good to me first. If it's good to me first and you don't like it, or if it doesn't work, then that's just the way it goes. You know, I always said, how are you be a good A&R person? Say, just if you love something and everybody else hates it, just realize they're stupid. But you got to love it first. You got to love it first, and that's why I do my records. My records, I got to love what I do. And this record was so important, and everything we cut just kept happening, just kept falling into place until this last song. And I got really frustrated, and I got really kind of felt defeated. And then, man, the players just jumped in there and Dee, and it just all happened. And when we get to that song, I want to point it out so you listen to it, because it's really good.
Yeah.
Whether
Dee,
y'all like it or not, it's really good.
Dee tells that story, and we will tell that story again. But you're such a student of classic country and your love of classic country.
Oh, I love country music, yeah.
What, Dee, for you being in the studio, what did you learn from Tony?
Well, I learned to never give up from that recording of All Day Singing, and we ended up getting the record with no click on that. That's how it ended up working, remember?
Yeah.
But Tony really pushed me to perform the songs in a different way, and we used a different microphone, and he encouraged me to sing louder and with more power than I was used to, and it was just different guidance. I remember he opened the vocal booth door at one point. He said, "Dee, I really need you to perform this thing like a real singer," and that kind of turned on a light bulb in my head for sure, and got me back to my roots. It made me remember when I was like 16 years old when I first started singing, and in the meantime I had dumbed things down a bit, and yeah, he brought it back out.
That's good.
wonderful.
He was so nice, because had been Steve Earle. Steve Earle went. So he was such a nice guy, but I meant that well, really, because the more I was around him and I see him, he sings. There's a difference between singing and performing, you know.
Yes.
And not everybody in the studio performs. They go, "I'll get it later." But I think we knew we were on a budget. We had to get it now. Plus, we were on a mission to get something that we thought was really good.
Yeah.
And we were on a mission, and boy, he did it. So
We got him. We never went back and sung finals.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that we want to tell a couple of stories and play some songs.
Okay.
And I want to start with, which one do you want to start with? All Day Singing, or do you want to start with Wagon Girl? Because you have a story about both of those.
Right. Well, we'll do Wagon Girl.
Okay.
Let's play them all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is
We
this
wanna
the
do that?
song that you guys just told the story?
Well, yeah, and Tony kind of told the clean version.
Come on, Dee. We want the real version.
Yeah, Michael Rhodes, rest his soul. We sure were lucky to have him on those 3 sessions. I think that might be the last thing
That's right.
that he ever did.
Yeah.
But Tony said, guys, I don't know what to do. I'm afraid we're going to lose the record. Michael said, I'll tell you what to do. Hit fucking record. And then the next take was what you're about to hear.
Okay.
Before he played Wagon Girl, he played that song for me, and the title was...
Oh, yeah, we were calling it Next One More.
The next one more time.
Yeah, next, you're right.
And
right.
I said, man, that's a stupid title. You should call it Wagon
And
Girl.
it was a stupid title, but the title just didn't present itself like usual.
So I said, that's a stupid title. You should call it Wagon Girl. I said, here's an example. I was cutting an album on Lynn Womack, and she had this song. She said, we got to cut Last Call. So we cut the album. I got to the end. I said, are we going to cut Last Call? She said, yeah, let's do it now. I don't have a lyric, so I called Sony Tree. I said, I need a lyric for Last Call right now at Soundstage, right here. And they said, we don't have a song called Last Call. I said, well, Leanne says you do, and she loves it. We want to cut it right now. I needed a lyric right now. So they called back and said, hey, Tony, we don't have a song called Last Call. We have a song called I Bet You're in a Bar. And that song, if you heard that song, it goes, I bet you're in a bar. And the last line is, because you're always my last call. I said, you need to change that title to Last Call, right now. I bet you're in a bar would have never flown, you know. So I use that as my justification for him changing his title. Because Wagon Girl doesn't mean anything, but it's got a ring to it. What does that mean? Well, listen to the song. I asked him, does it mean, is it about promiscuous girls? Is that what it's about?
Sort of, yeah, sort of. You know, it's all a metaphor.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's play All Day Singing.
Great.
Let's do it. All Day Singing.
That's a cool one.
Preaching man working on the day of rest, got everybody sweating through their Sunday best. He's pouring it on like gravy and grits, soul food fattening up the hypocrites. All day singing, dinner on the ground, whiskey in the bushes and the devil all around. Money is the root of all evil, they say. You wanna get to heaven, better put it in the plate. We fight our battles with the flesh all week, but bottle it up, brother, blessed are the meek. Don't come around here raising no fuss. Everybody's welcome if you just like us. All day singing, dinner on the ground, whiskey in the bushes and the devil all around. Money is the root of all evil, they say. You wanna get to heaven, better put it in the plate. You got a past, better know your place. If you let it slip, you could fall from grace. There are some things better left unsaid. You better be careful when you bow your head. All day singing, dinner on the ground, whiskey in the bushes and the devil all around. Money is the root of all evil, they say. You wanna get to heaven, better put it in the plate. Whoa, put it in the plate. Working on the day you rest, got everybody sweating through their Sunday best.
That outro is like, in the studio, sometimes the players just don't want to stop playing. So it's not a creative
Thank
idea. So you go, why not? Just let them play.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, you know.
It's cool and organic. I
Yeah.
want to share one more thing, but I don't want to take too much time up it. That song, I wrote that with Kendall Marble. Speaking of titles, he called it Put It in the Plate, and we never did agree on a title, so that's the only song I've ever written where the two co-writers disagreed on the title, but I call it All Day Singing.
You were right.
Yeah. The story behind that, just really quick, the first half of that chorus, all day singing, dinner on the grounds, that was my grandfather's old saying, because he grew up Baptist in a dry county in North Alabama. And after he passed away, my uncle was walking around the house, and I said something about all day singing, dinner on the grounds. I think we were talking about his funeral. And my uncle said, oh, he never told you the back half of that saying? I said, no, what was it? He said, whiskey in the bushes and the devil all around. I took out my phone and wrote that down. And it was during COVID, and we wrote that on a Zoom, right? So turned out really cool, though.
My dad was an evangelist, so I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
This next song is one of my personal favorites, Whiskey Please,
Oh, yeah.
and has a very interesting meaning, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. This one's pretty down the middle country, I will say. It's probably the most countryside we cut, Tony. Whiskey Please.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this thing took a while. I did the first write with a fellow named Taylor Craven. Met him down on the Alabama Gulf Coast at the Frank Brown International Songwriters Festival. And he wouldn't mind if I share this. He's a recovering alcoholic. And he told me that he woke up one night tasting bourbon when he was laying next to his wife, and he had not had a drink in 10 years. So that started the wheels turning with this idea. And we can go ahead and play it. It's called Whiskey Please.
I know what she'd do if she knew that last night in her arms I thought of you. She'd be gone with the wind, 'cause she can't go through it again. And after what we'd done to her, why did I walk in? Whiskey, please leave me alone. Whiskey, please, can't you see? I'm trying to move on. I told you I was through with you, now won't you set me free? One more time, what'll it be? Whiskey, please. Why do I still taste your kiss when there ain't no part of us worth being missed? You got a list of other lovers all in line to love you back. He's just asking for my order. He don't know about our past. Whiskey, please leave me alone. Whiskey, please, can't you see? I'm trying to move on. I told you I was through with you, now won't you set me free? One more time, what'll it be? Whiskey, please. Everything I got from you ain't worth half of what you took. If she finds us here together, how's that gonna look? Whiskey, please leave me alone. Whiskey, please, can't you see? I'm trying to move on. I told you I was through with you. Why won't you set me free? One more time, what'll it be? Whiskey, please. I told you I was through with you. Now won't you set me free? One last time, what'll it be? Whiskey, please.
Thank y'all for listening. We had added Wurlitzer piano and pedal
actually,
steel by then.
We cut these three things first for John Pete. So I asked him, could I? And he said, those are good, go cut three more. So then we cut three more, then we cut three more. And as we went on, we said, let's add steel guitar to this session. So we didn't have steel guitar on any other session. And what happened was not us directing them to play it that way. They just played it that way.
Yeah, like breathing.
Yeah.
Russ Paul.
Russ Paul. And I hired him because the superlatives, I was trying to think cool, you know, edgy. Cool and edgy, man.
Yeah.
If I used Paul Franklin or those guys, it'd be the same old, same old. So I hired Russ Paul, and you think Russ would play more like Sneaky Pete, who played on the Burritos or something. But Russ played like Paul Franklin. I didn't ask him to, and it's so good. It's like, I was going, Russ is enjoying this. He's like really getting into the old country steel thing. So all this stuff that happened, like it was magic. Like I was going, these players are playing for us, man. They're loving us right now. They're loving on us.
So you had a song come out today. Congratulations.
Sure did. Thank you very much. Thank y'all.
Let's talk about Heart Talkin'.
Let's talk about it. Co-wrote that one with my friend Sergio Sanchez. Tony, he asked me to write a ballad, and I went in for a 10 a.m. writing session and came out at 2 a.m. the next morning with this song, and we went straight to the castle and cut it. The next day at 10 a.m., I believe, yeah. It was one of those.
At the castle,
It was an all-nighter, yeah, that last session.
And this is going to be the title of the album as well.
Yeah, title track, Heart Talkin'.
Came out today. Let's play it. Heart Talkin'.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Your tongue, he's always up for fighting. If you don't tell your teeth to bite him, you're gonna lose the one you love. Your tongue, he knows this drink don't taste the same, and he's to blame 'cause she ain't here to make a toast. Your eyes, what more could they be looking for? Don't trust them anymore, they don't see clear through those tears. It would be hard on me, I'd be heavy as a rock. If there's still a pulse, don't give me the shock. And this is your heart talking. We both know I can't take a break. When you lie down at night, your mind and you're wide awake. So keep your feet walking that straight line you've been on. 'Cause the rate I'm at, boy, you won't last. So pay your tab and take me home. And this is your heart talking. Your lungs need to take a big deep breath and exhale everything that ain't so good for me. your head. I know you're all in it right now, but you had better tune it out. I've got your back. And though it was always quick to turn, of all the bridges in this town, she ain't the one to burn. This is your heart talking. We both know I can't take a break. When you lie down at night, your mind and you're wide awake. So keep your feet walking that straight line you've been on. 'Cause the rate I'm at, boy, you won't last. So pay your tab and take me home. And this is your heart talking. Your lips can say I'm sorry, you can show it head to toe. But if you wanna make it right and let it go, she's got to know that this is your heart talking. We both know I can't take a break. When you lie down at night, your mind and I are wide awake. So keep your feet walking that straight line you've been on. 'Cause the rate I'm at, boy, you won't last. So pay your tab and take me home. And this is your heart talking. Listen to your heart talking. Ba, ba, ba.
Octave. Thank y'all. Thank you guys.